So today I wanted to do something special. I wanted to show you how I cooked my dinner last Saturday night. Now this was a big one, lads. You're talking steak, scallops, prawns, triple cooked chips, a surf and turf basically. Now if I was to go to a restaurant and buy this for my family, it would at least cost, I don't know, I'd say because it's a dry aged tomahawk steak, I'd say it would be about 150 quid for all these ingredients. For me, I paid about £40 for them. I wanted to go all in, I wanted to go mad, and I certainly did do that. I'm going to show you today in the video. Hopefully you learn a few things. I'm going to go through the steak cooking, how I cooked it with the meat thermometer, the cooking of the prawns, the scallops, and a few little techniques, few little actually products as well that kind of helps me out along the way. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy it, hopefully you learn something from it, and let's get on, let's start cooking. Come on, let's go. Right, so this is some of the stuff I'm going to cover today in the video. Cooking this steak, cooking a few of the prawns, cooking the scallops, mayonnaise from scratch, garlic aioli, a few products that I find useful in the kitchen to get the steak a perfect medium rare. And it's all working up to a massive surf and tough platter at the end of the video. So stick around to see it, and I'll start off with the chips first. And always they have to be Maris Pipers, lads. They have to be a Maris Piper. They're the best results for chips every single time. So once all the peelings go in the side here, cut the potato in half, cut the half in half, and then use your knife as a nice little kind of measuring tool to get a nice clean neat cut for nice chunky chips for this meal. And this is how we're going to start the meal. And they're going to go into a pot. I'm going to boil them with a little bit of baking powder for around 6 to 7 minutes until they slightly start breaking away on the sides. And now I'm going to make my mayonnaise from scratch. To do that, we need an egg yolk and a spoon of Dijon mustard, which is an emulsifier, and this will help thicken it up. And you stir in the oil bit by bit. Now I'm using groundnut oil, which is a neutral oil, so you don't get that heavy flavour running through the mayonnaise. 1 small clove of garlic because it's quite strong, and a little bit of saffron. And saffron is actually the most expensive herb in the entire world per pound. And I'm going to just whip this up and season it with salt and pepper at the end with a lemon juice, and that's it. That's how I made my mayonnaise. My chips had about 6-7 minutes. You can see they're slightly falling apart. And this is a little appetizer I made for me and my wife, smoked salmon on crackers, and it's absolutely beautiful with some dill, some lemon juice. And this is some good eating on the weekends. Staying in, no restaurants, bad weather, and good food. How bad? So I'm going to cook the steak here. I had it out of the fridge for at least an hour because it's quite big to come up to room temperature, and I had it covered. And now I'm going to season with plenty of salt because it's a huge steak, so we need to put a decent amount of sea salt on it for the best results and to get it seasoned on the outside. And then I'm going to start cooking it. Fat side down, going onto the frying pan here. You want to hear that sizzle, you want the fat to come out. I put no oil at all into the pan here because the natural fat of the steak and oils will come out of the steak itself, and that's what I'm going to cook the steak in. Now still on the high heat, I'm going to get a nice crust on one side of this steak, and I seal in the top parts of it, the side parts, and then I flip it over and I'm going to baste it in, of course, a good quality butter. Kerrygold I use today. I'm going to flip it on its side and start basting away. You know, you have to baste your steaks, lads. Don't skip this part. Like, you know, you have to baste it in thyme and butter. It adds so much great flavour to the steak. It's unbelievable. Like, this is going to have to go in the oven, guys, because it's such a big steak. Just to finish the cooking, I'm going to check it with the thermometer. So I'm looking for around 135 Fahrenheit for the steak to be cooked. So it's at around 126, 127. It's going to need another couple of minutes in the oven. It got to 135, perfect. When it gets to 135, I'll take it out, put it to the side, leave it rest for about 7-8 minutes, or about half the time it took to cook the steak, and it should be perfect, hopefully. All the juices flow back into the steak once you let it rest. Scallops straight into that steak pan, recycling all the flavour, and they only take about 40 seconds each side to cook the scallops through, which is quite cool. Scallop roe going in there as well, a lot of flavour in that. And I'm going to put my prawns in And I'm going to cook everything away until it all cooks through. So you can see stuff's starting to come along here. I'm going to flip the old prawns, give them a nice cooking on either side. I'm going to get the scallops out first because they are almost finished. And this is where I picked up the ingredients, lads. Hales and More. It's in Raynham in Kent. And he actually told me he gets his oysters from Ireland, which I found a bit strange because, you know, Whitstable's around the corner and they grow oysters. There's oyster farms or something. So it's mad that he gets them from Ireland, but I'm not complaining. Irish oysters all the way, a little bit of Tabasco sauce, and it's cheap enough, lads. The fish products all cost me around 13 quid, 13.50. So that was for scallops, prawns, oysters, and you know, if you got these in a restaurant, lads, it'd be 5 times the price. Nothing better than eating a few oysters on the weekend, little glass of wine. Parmesan breadcrumbs, panko breadcrumbs, bit of parsley going into the mushrooms here, into the oven till they brown up and the mushroom cooks through. I got my chips in at 130 and I cooked them till they go soft on the inside. Take them out, let them rest, and the final fry goes in at 190, and that is how you triple cook your chips. Now I'm going to cut up the steak to see how she turned out on the inside. So what do you reckon, lads? Medium rare? Of course it is. We used the meat thermometer. We took the risk out of it, which you have to do if you're cooking a big steak like this. Of course, a lot of people wouldn't like it like this. If you cooked this in Ireland 10 years ago, you'd have to go straight to confession. You would say 3 Hail Marys, but this kind of food is getting more acceptable day by day in Ireland. And this is the final result. What do you think, lads? Tomahawk steak, garlic aioli, prawns from scratch, scallops, breaded mushrooms, and a perfectly cooked steak.